Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CRMA video session 187. So basically in today's video, we will actually walk through the blend. We'll understand the concept of blend, how there are different relationship, data set relationship which exist on the data set. And how when we combine different data set through different kind of blends, we can actually see try to gauge the result of it. Okay, so we have the left and right blend, inner blend, and outer blend. So we will go through one by one. Now, for this one, first thing is that if you remember, I have to open the account file. Okay, so basically, there was this account file which we had. Yeah, so you remember I already when I was explaining the concept of join, this is where we started. We have to even revisit to the older videos. Okay, so what I mean by that is like if you just go to this channel Techie Avinash. Okay, now, when you go to this channel, if you go to the video section and if you go to older section, you have to go for this session 26, I guess. Yeah, so basically you have to check this out session 26 because when you go to the session 26, you will understand the concept of join and the very first example. Okay, now I'm closing this one. So just go through this session 26, 27, 28 and 29 because with the same example, you can leave this cross down because that's not which we deal with in data set when it comes to the blend. But yeah, from session 26 till session 29, you can walk through that one because over there, I have explained you about the join things. Okay, how like we have this different data set file, account file and opportunity file and how through left join, inner join, we got the different result. Now the same thing we will try to understand from the data set perspective. Okay, now I will go to my Analytics Studio. Now what I will do is I will open the account file. So I have this account file over here. I will open that. Now I also have the opportunity file. So what I will do is I will duplicate this tab as well. There was something called as opportunity file. I guess I have to search it maybe. Let me go to browse section. So somewhere I uploaded the, okay, that's strange. I have the account file. Let me search with off file. Yeah, that is the one off file. Now what I will do is very quickly I will go to this values table. And as you can see here, so I have total 6 records, right? And that is something you can see over here, right? So A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A7, and that's why it is A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A7. And now if I go to my values table in the off file, okay, you see 7 records. So ON1, ON2, ON3, ON4, ON5, ON6, ON7, okay? And that is something you see over here also, okay? That's the thing. Now, what I will do is basically I will open this account file and on top of it, I will open the off file, okay? Now, just the join concept which we had. So basically, remember when we were I was explaining the join concept. I explained how when I have taken these two files, how when I did the left join, how the mapping was happening. I explained on how many records we were actually getting it. Okay, so maybe if I open the left join file, what I will do is I will search with file once again over here. Yeah, so here we have the left join file. As you can see, there are total of 8 records, and I think one. Yeah, it's the total of 8 records only which we have on the left, right? Now, this is the thing which we got. And if I just go to my values table, so these are the records, okay? These are the records which you see, which is completely fine. Now, there are total of 8 records. And if you see over here, so what I will do is like here, if I go for left blend, exactly you will see that many number of records will actually come up, okay? Now, how will we check that? So let's say went for the count of rows, okay? I will also go for the count of off file. So I have 2 files. I will go for the first one is showing the count of account file and the second one is showing the count of off file. So remember this blue color is nothing but the first one, account file, and the orange color is nothing but the off file. Okay, I can rename this also, but I think that's not needed. We can differentiate by the colors itself. Now under the bar section, what I will do is I will select the account ID as well as under the off file also I will select the account ID and I will click on add. Okay, now If you observe over here, you see for A1, I have only one record, right? So that's what I am getting. So if you see here, like A1 particularly, like there are two rows, that's a different thing because the mapping is happening for that joint. We are getting two rows, but ultimately, or maybe I'm not sure. Okay, we don't have the values table unfortunately over here. Okay, that's fine. We cannot check by values table, but as you can see, like A1, I have one records, and that is something which you see on account side as well. But when it comes to the op side, okay, I have actually the A1 two records. Like I have this ON6 and ON1. So ON6 and ON1. So I have two records basically of opportunity, unique records, right? So that's why it's written as two over here. Okay, that's the thing about this one. Now for A2, I have again one records. So for A2, I have again one record over here. But over here, basically, if you see, like we have this op3 and op7. Okay, and that's why it's actually showing two records, okay, from that. And similarly, if you see A3, we have one, okay, that is something. You see the A3 is one, over here also one. Then A4 also, like we will be having one over here, that is something which you see. Now for A5, there's nothing over from the op, that's why it's null, right? So that's what it's been shown over here, okay. And for A7 also is the same thing which we see over here as well. So basically the A1, although with the left joint, it's coming two different times, but what it means is that A1 particularly have one record, but when it comes to opportunity, there are two different records, okay, with the A1. So that's why two records are being shown up. Fine. When we map the account, remember this account ID, we are mapping account ID on the both the side. Okay, so this account ID which you have, right, this account ID is being mapped on both the side. Fine. So that's the thing, like basically one record is coming at the end of the day through that join. Okay, again, don't get confused like why it is appearing two times. When I explain the left join, I like help you to understand, like because it's getting mapped, it's coming two times, but at the end of the day the record is only one, isn't it? That's the thing. Okay, but that's not the, like the record is only one, the A and one. Okay, the record is only one, but in case of opportunity is a different, it's mapping, it's coming two times that account ID because you have different op name for that same account ID. Okay, that's the thing which is there with the left join, as you can see. Fine. Now let's say if I go for, I change the relationship from left to right. Now let us understand this blend. Okay, first of all, what is this blend about? Because I straight away jump to the left blend. So it says to choose the dataset relationship and select a relationship to control which records are part of the blended data for this query. What the left blend says, it says it shows all records from the left group and only those that match from the right. So it will show all the records which you have on the left, but only those which will match from the right. Okay. Right blend shows all records from right and only those that match from the left. Inner is like, it will shows whatever exists and it shows both. It's similar to the join concept. It's just that you have to understand a bit visually on this one, and a little bit of confusion might be there, like why it's coming one and there it is mapped to that part. You have to just understand. Okay, nothing else. Now let's say immediately if I change this to right blend. Okay, and what I will do is maybe over here also I will just open this right join file and very quickly I will go to my values table. That's fine. Now, first of all, again, if I go to my Excel sheet, you see like A1, okay, it's one time. Okay, now A1, if you see, like basically here, it will be one time. So let's do one thing. Yeah. So A1 is one time, and again op is like it's coming two times, right? That is what we see over here. The ON1 as well as we have something called as ON6. Okay. Then we have something called A2. So A2 also, if you see one time, but from right it's coming two times, and that is something which we see over here as well. Okay. Then comes the third one, again one, and the last one is the sixth one. So basically, you 1 minute here. A6, I think op5 is A6, I guess. Yeah, yeah, if you see the op5, right, this is the op5, right? So op5 is nothing but coming from the account ID A6. So under the right join, if you see, we have this null, right? So basically from the left side, nothing will come for that account ID. Okay, but on the right, you have this op5, which is nothing but A6. And that's why it's showing that for A6, you will have one record over here. Okay, that's how it's getting checked over here on the blend side. Now let's say if I move to the inner blend. Okay, so again if I move to the inner blend, again if you see here, like for A1 I have one record, and from offside I'm getting two records. Again A2 1, from offside I'm getting two, A3 1 1, A4 1 1. Okay, and that's how you will see over here. So one, two records are coming, two different records, right? And then again one over here, and two different account IDs are coming for which is getting mapped. And again, 1 1 and A4 1 1. There's nothing else if you see. Now coming to autogen, again it will be like 1 2, right? 1 from account and 2 from op. Again for A2 it will be 1 2, A3 1 1, A4, A5 will be 1, it will be 0, A7 1, and it will show 0 on the opportunity. And for this one, that is A6, it will show 1 on the right side but 0 on the left side. Okay, now that this part again we can just quickly cross check. So I am just going to this outer blend. So as I told you, 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1, and as you can see A5, okay, as I was telling you, like A5 there's null over there, A7 also null, and that is something you can see over here, right? It's coming 0, but on the A6 one it's coming 0, but 1 from the opportunity side. Okay, so yeah, that's how it's getting mapped. Blend is like based on that account ID, you will get to see how many count of rows. So basically count of rows means how many records are coming at the end of the day, isn't it? So that's how this has been set up. And yeah, that's it about this one. This is the whole thing about this count of rows. So from off file, this many count of rows you are getting if you go by the account ID, and that is something which you can clearly see over here. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. That is something which I just wanted to explain you, like depending upon the blend, how that account ID comes into picture. And that's how it is being done. Whenever you're doing a blend, you just have to ensure you select the appropriate one. You can go through this definition which is similar to the left. It's just that once you do the blend, you have to take into consideration the kind of grouping which you are going to do. Okay, and that grouping has to be common. If the grouping is not common, you won't get appropriate result. That is also the case. For example, let's say if I take something like op ID over here, okay, and very quickly let's say I change to left blend. Now you see you are completely getting, oh okay, I didn't select anything from the bar. Again I will select account ID, and from here I will select the op ID, okay, and clicking on add. Okay, you see randomly it's coming like 1010 because the grouping you have selected incorrectly over there. Fine, so that's the thing. Not sure why it is coming two times. So let's say I select account ID, and here I select op ID. Okay, this is how it's coming up, which doesn't make sense. So you have to ensure on the bars you select the proper grouping in both the cases. Fine, and let's say I select something like maybe the name, and from here let's say I select the op name. In that case also, like it will not come appropriately. So always ensure you select the proper grouping over here. That's something, the common grouping is to be selected, which is the account ID as well as account ID. After that you will actually get to see the count of rows. Fine, so that's how it is. You just have to ensure that the initial data set which you are taking, whatever records you're getting, that will be a unique, and the next one which is coming up, that will be counted based upon the actual count of rows. Okay, that's how it goes about with the blend concept. But otherwise you can just take the reference of this to understand as well. It's more or less similar, okay, with just a little bit of difference. So yeah, that is all about this blend concept. I hope you understood this whole thing about blend. And yeah, with this it comes to the end of this topic related to adding of data source. Okay, this adding of data source which we are doing. Fine, and yeah, let's meet very soon in our next video. Thank you.